I'm Ann Goble. I'm a wildlife painter. I am fortunate to be the 47th Gala featured artist, and it's quite an honor, and I appreciate being asked, and it's been exciting to get ready for it, and I know it's going to be a wonderful night, and I'm happy to share my work and appreciate the opportunity. You know, it seems like most artists have the tale of, I drew my whole childhood, and I did. I had notebooks full of drawings for as long as I can remember. Weirdly, I drew house plans, and I don't know why. I didn't want to be an architect, but there was something about drawing house plans that was real satisfying, and I did notebooks and notebooks of house plans. And I drew the family out beside it, and the dog and the cat. And then I got to high school art classes and just knew that's what I loved to do. But thought, oh, it may not be a practical profession, right? So I went into psychology, and then I got a master's in psychology, and then I worked in psychology. But I always knew I wanted to get back to art. And when my kids started grade school, I took a class at the Quinlan, and it was a beginner oil painting class. All of my art in college was drawing, and I didn't realize at the time just how good that instruction was, but it was they were really good classes. And but I'd never done painting, so I took a class at the Quinlan that was a beginner oil painting class. A lot of people in Gainesville were in that class with me. We all went once a week, and the instructor's name was Toni Treverton, and she was so good at teaching. She just made you feel like, I mean, painting is not easy, but she made you feel like, look, let's just break it down into these simple beginning steps. And if you can knock that out, then you can take it to the next level and the next level and the next level. And she just made you feel encouraged. And from there, I started taking more classes at the Quinlan, more workshops where a visiting artist would come in and teach for 3 days, 4 days. And they were just, you know, some of the best artists in the country. And I was just so fortunate to live in a town that had that kind of art instruction available. And then I went to the Blue Angel and started painting with other artists, and that was invaluable to you know, learn from each other and have people critique your work and support each other. And I haven't stopped painting since. So subject matter, you know, it's interesting how that can evolve, or does evolve. You know, in the beginning, I did still life because that's the only thing that you have, other than having a model, that's the only thing from life you can paint from. And it's a super, super good way to learn how to see and to see light and learn what light does and to understand value and color and edges. So, you know, started with still life. My daughter is an equestrian, and well, not by profession, but she rode growing up and rode in college. And so we vacationed in areas where she could ride at ranches out west. So I was able to get phenomenal pictures of horses and started painting them. And so that became my niche for several years, was Western art. And I still do a lot of Western art. Then I just kind of I learned this background technique that you see here, and had just been to the beach and had just taken a lot of shorebird photographs, and I thought, what if I put this little bird on this new background I've learned how to do? And when I did it, something just kind of clicked, and that is now my niche, is shorebirds, wading birds, all kinds of birds, waterfowl, and as you can see, that's pretty much what I'm doing now. A little bit of Western and a lot of birds. So the mediums that I have worked in are watercolor, gouache. I'm not very good with acrylic. I just don't have much experience with acrylic. But oil is what I learned in and what I continue to use 99% of the time. I just love the way oil moves and the way it looks and how forgiving it is. It's like anything else. There's a big learning curve, but once you get a handle on the way the paint moves, the possibilities just feel infinite with oil. You know, when you're starting out and you feel like you're getting better and learning more and getting better, one good way to kind of test your how well you're doing is to enter some national shows. And the benefit of that is multifold. Number one, when you get in these shows, it's some reassurance that you're on the right track and your work is getting stronger. And then it gives you lots of visibility. So it kind of gets your name out there, which is very helpful for collectors. And then that has a ripple effect. So then another show will hear about you and ask you to enter. So that was certainly a peak for me, was getting in some of the big national shows. The next kind of accomplishment that was significant for me was the Southeastern Wildlife Exposition. And some Gainesville friends and artists told me about it, and I applied and got in. And that opened up so many doors for me. I not only made wonderful friendships and bonds with other artists, and that opens doors, but my current gallery representation, which is Charleston and Jacksonville, Florida, came from CWE. Those, gallery owners come through CWE and scout out which artists they're interested in. So that was a huge turning point. And then at that point, painting really became a career for me, and is now. And those galleries have been so wonderful to me, and they do the part of art that I don't like doing, the marketing and the selling and all of that. They handle all of that, and they're so good at it, and so I just feel really fortunate. So that was a really big kind of pivotal moment for me in my career. Locally, I mean, I have so many people to thank, and we've all helped each other in so many ways, but painting at the Blue Angel with Ann Alexander and Judy Black and Bob White and Neil Hughes and so many great artists that shared with me their knowledge and experience and gave me critiques, unsolicited critiques. But that's what you need, right? That's what, you don't like it, but you got to hear it. And so all of those artists have been a huge influence on me. The local gallery on the square, there are 9 of us there, and all of us support one another. But yeah, and then all the, the Quinlan instructors and the Quinlan itself, all those pieces were just absolutely critical to my beginnings and my continued success, really. So my day as an artist is very predictable. I am here at the studio in the morning. I treat it like a job. I get home at 6 o'clock at night, and that is often 7 days a week. And I know that sounds like a lot, but to get better and better, you have to do it a lot. I'm just sorry. That's true for anything in life, and it's certainly true for painting. One of the artists at the Blue Angel used to call it brush mileage, that the more you're pushing that brush, the more you're learning. So doing it a lot is critical. And then with the gallery representation I have, and with Siwi, I really have to paint that much to produce what I need to produce. So, but gosh, I mean, if you got to work hard, this is a great gig, right? So I really have to thank my family for where I am. First, my mother, who many of you know, she's an incredible artist. She did not start painting until she was 75. However, before that, in all of my life, she has been a huge creative influence for me. She made my clothes growing up, which I did not like, but she made Barbie's clothes, which I very much liked. She just always had art in the forefront. She dragged me to art shows, and just a very creative woman. And so I really credit her for my love of art. My kids have been so supportive. They're just my biggest fans. And my husband, Hank, has been a huge, huge support. He says he's my schlepper. And maybe he is. He has to carry big, heavy paintings, and somehow packs 15, 20 paintings in the back of his car to go to shows, and helps me frame and helps me hang. And often tonight. You do not want to leave empty-handed. The Quinlan is a phenomenal, phenomenal place to support the arts and bring the arts to us, which is so important. So leave with a wonderful piece, and don't say that you don't have room on your walls, because everybody can find a place for a painting.